Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sixer Sense podcast. I'm your host Lucas with Chris, and I feel like I just saw you, buddy, but that's okay.
Yeah, Lucas, we're recording not really early, but on Saturday morning, which is an unusual time for us. But I'm excited to talk about these last couple of games.
Absolutely.
Because the Sixers have won 3 straight, Lucas. I noticed you were wearing your jersey.
We got to wear whenever they win more than they lose, so you know.
It's been a minute since we could reliably do that. So, 3 straight, Lucas. It started a couple days ago against the Golden State Warriors at home in the black uniforms, which continue to be like the best uniforms in the league, pretty much.
I'm saying we need to keep them in the permanent rotation.
Sick. If they get rid of these, I'm going to be kind of disappointed.
Well, hot take. What if we go back to that as our primary logo again? And just hear me out. And we have the black jerseys, the white jerseys, and then we can have the blue ones that were there for like a year as the alternates. I'm just saying, I don't think anybody hates this logo except for our friend Uriah. I think he's the only one that hates it.
I think everyone would be in support of that, except maybe
that
Uriah.
Should be a poll question. You should post that on the Twitter as a poll question.
That might be a good one. All right. So if you have thoughts, check us out on Twitter at SixerSense in the near future and answer the poll. But 99-98 win over the Warriors, Lucas. This is a game in which the Sixers led by over 20 points at halftime. They blew the game in very standard Sixers fashion. And they come rolling back late and win the game pretty much at the buzzer. Less than a second left when VJ Edgecombe puts in his game-winning putback off of a Tyrese Maxey miss. Tyrese drives right, gets blocked. VJ follows it perfectly, puts it in, crashing the glass, doing the little things that he does so well. And then Buddy Hield makes one of the most impressive passes we're going to see all year.
From him, especially.
And finds De'Anthony Melton down the court. Perfect bounce. And who else but Tyrese Maxey runs the length of the floor to block his former teammate. We love De'Anthony. Shout out to him.
And to be fair, De'Anthony blocked Tyrese's shot on the play before.
Some good defense from both of them. De'Anthony not known for making his layups, but we won't know.
We'll never know. And plus, VJ was there too. Even if Tyrese didn't get it, VJ probably would have gotten it as well.
One of the more impressive layups of De'Anthony's career. But awesome play from Tyrese. He finishes with 35 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. 10 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, 5 turnovers for VJ in this one. 12 points in 25 minutes for Joel Embiid. 6 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks.
That's what we need.
For Dominic Barlow. 12 points for Quentin Grimes. 8 off the bench for Justin Edwards. 7 off the bench in 21 minutes for Jared McCain. Look, this was not a full-strength Warriors team, Lucas. No Steph, no Jimmy, but only 9 minutes of Draymond. But still, I mean, not ideally how this game would have gone. They didn't need to blow the 20-point lead, but an impressive way to finish it out. Definitely the most entertaining way to win, I would say. What were your takeaways from this game?
So, we'll talk about this later, but, Dominic Barlow, man, I just love that guy. Let me just say, I love everything that he does. Can he shoot? No. Do I worry about that? Absolutely not. Just a fun guy. Look, the blown lead is concerning, and I almost had flashback with the game the following night, but that didn't happen, thank goodness. Look, the Warriors are old, and their young guys did not develop the right way. I blame their head coach on that one, but Steve Kerr does not like young guys, let's be clear. Look, the Warriors are trying to do something, but they can't because they're not healthy and they rely too much on Steph and Jimmy. So Al Horford looked really old. I mean, that's just I think he's staying in the league 1 year too many years.
It's about time that he looks old.
Yeah, I mean, is he 39, 40?
Yeah, he hasn't looked old since he was in Philly.
Yeah, right? We were Al Horford's done. That was 2019? 20, something like that. Craziness. So look, it's good that the Sixers came out in the clutch here. We've had the game go the other way so often as of late. It's good that we had to go back our way. outside of that, the only other thing that I'm kind of starting to worry about is Joel's rebounding numbers. But like, we kind of know that where Joel is at and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, look, Joel's never really been a great rebounder for his size.
I mean, but he's been like a double-digit guy for pretty much his whole career until this year.
I mean, 6 rebounds in 25 minutes isn't really bad. He's not playing.
But he's averaging 5 on the season, though.
Yeah, but in pretty limited playing time still. It's not a full workload. Cut him some slack, but
okay.
Yeah, this was a very fun ending that didn't need to be that fun. There, like you said, the whole third quarter thing is still very much an issue. The Sixers are pretty consistently terrible in the third quarter for some reason. I don't really know how to explain why that is. I don't know if there are any trends that we can point to other than the fact that they just kind of come out of the gate slow in the second half. But
I think that's a coaching issue, but
maybe
I'm already ready to say goodbye to Nick Nurse, but that's
it'll depend on how the rest of the season plays out. But I do want to second your Dominic Barlow love. He continues to just be awesome. Not too much more.
We'll talk about his place once everybody's healthy, but I think it's going to be an interesting topic.
Yeah, I think he has earned the starting role personally. All right, Lucas. Let's move on to yesterday, Friday night, in a game in Milwaukee, wearing not the black uniforms, unfortunately, but another win for the Sixers, 116-101 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Hard to complain there. 22 points from Quentin Grimes in this one off the bench to lead the Sixers. This was a quieter game for Tyrese, who had 12 points, 4 assists, and 4 steals in 37 minutes. VJ had 12 points, 4 rebounds of his own. Andre got the start. No Joel Embiid in this one, but Paul George back. And he looked really good. Did I already say 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal in about 30 minutes? 7 of 15 from the field, hit 2 threes. Played pretty stellar defense, Lucas. What were your takeaways from this game? I have to mention Jabari Walker had a pretty remarkable first half. Finished with 18 points.
One perfect from the field.
Yeah, didn't have quite the same second half and really play much at all in the second half, but really, really good. And probably the best he's looked all year in that first half. So what were your takeaways from this game, Lucas?
I mean, we saw 10 minutes of Coach Lowry, so that's impressive.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, look, Paul George, this is the Paul George that you would want from this game. And I also, I just said that I'm okay with Nurse leaving. I do want to say that I am proud of him for making the smart choice and having, Joel and Paul George alternate back to net back so that we're not without both of them on one night. So that was smart. Not a great scoring night from Dominic Barlow, but yet again does all the dirty work. Tyrese Maxey had a pretty awful game actually by his standards. Broke his 20-game scoring streak, so that's still in place for Joel, being the Sixers all-time leader in that. But I mean, the Sixers didn't really need him. I mean, look, you got 20 points from Paul George, 22 points from Quinn Grimes on really efficient shooting by Grimes, by the way. VJ had a solid game. I really wish that they would unleash VJ to let him do his thing, but I think he's still trying to figure out the NBA game too, a little bit. Saw a lot of Bono. Bono looked good. First time in a while that I can say that. Look, I mean, the Bucks are without Giannis. They're probably we talked about it before. He's probably going to get traded. We know who Doc Rivers is as a head coach. Kevin Porter Jr., I don't know what to say about the guy. I don't really want to say anything about him, but he had a good game against us. We actually did a good job containing Ryan Rollins and all things, expected there. It's weird that they're going double big with Jericho Sims and Miles Turner. They're making Turner to a stretch 4, and when he had to do that with Sabonis and Indiana, it had mixed results. But I guess they don't want to start Bobby Portis or Kyle Kuzma because they're both not really good starters. Though I think Portis would be a better option, to be honest.
I think it's they just need more defense and more rebounding with that guard group that they're playing. AJ Green, Kevin Porter, and Ryan Rollins are not going to crash the glass.
Well, and AJ Green's might be out for a while too because he left the game with an injury. But look, I mean, the Sixers did pretty good. I mean, look, do I love that they got yet again outscored in the third quarter by 4 points? No, but like, we did good. We did good. I don't have too many complaints.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said it's better than getting outscored by 20 points or whatever. But yeah. This was a good win, albeit against not a very good team given the circumstances. It's nice to know that they can still win when Maxey is not on his game, and a large reason for that is Paul George, who continues to look pretty darn good, like up to 30 minutes in this game. The defense is really solid still.
Yeah, the defense is probably the most important part for him.
He frankly looks like better than he did most of the time last season. Like he looks genuinely good
all the time last season. Don't say most. It's all the time.
It's like we don't know how consistently he's going to be on the floor, or if he can stay healthy or any of that. But Paul George does look genuinely good, and that does elevate the ceiling of this team, Lucas. So. But let's run through some injury updates here, and then we'll talk about how Philly's kind of postseason setup is looking here. All right, so Kelly Oubre continues on his rehab journey, Lucas, expected to miss, quote, at least one more week and be reevaluated thereafter. Seems like he's going to be back sooner than later. What are your expectations for when Kelly gets back?
Well, Kelly and Tredford, so he's still going to be out. We don't have a timetable on him yet with that groin, but with both of them back, who's going to be in the starting five, assuming health? Well, we already have 4 locks, right? We have Tyrese, VJ, Paul George, and Joel. So, like, who's that 5th starter? Who's the quote unquote power forward? Is it Kelly, who was having a career season prior to that, and arguably our best perimeter defender? Dominic Barlow, who does all the dirty stuff, that is very good defensively as well, just not, there as an offensive tool. But do you really need offense in that starting 5? Tredford, who, when he's on, gosh, he looks really good, but inconsistent, right? I don't think Walker's in that conversation, so we can leave him out. But which one of those 3 is in the starting 5, right? I don't know, Chris. That's a tough question. It depends on what you want. Do you want two-way play, Kelly, with a high basketball IQ in his prime, that can get you 20 points just by doing like the little things? Maybe not quite as big as, Barlow, but does pretty much the same thing and a better perimeter defender than he is? Do you want Barlow, who doesn't need the ball offensively at all? Doesn't matter if he scores or not. That can, is a little bit bigger, so can do a little bit help more on the rebounding, even though Kelly's pretty good as a rebounder, and more interior defensive stuff if you want to play bigger? Or do you want to do Wofford, where you have a point forward that takes some more of the playmaking responsibility off Maxey, but yet again, not a great, defender or rebounder consistently? So I think it's matchup dependent for Kelly and Barlow. I think Wofford's probably the odd man out, but I think you could do matchup dependent for Kelly or Barlow.
Yeah, I agree that Wofford is not the answer. I frankly at this point I'm pretty comfortable with it just being Barlow and bringing Kelly off the bench. I think that's not a bad role for Kelly. I
mean, no, it's not a bad role, but like, the Sixers do miss his perimeter defense. Let's be clear.
Yeah, well, I now that Paul George wasn't really back when Kelly was healthy earlier this year, I think Paul being back does help a lot on that front. Like,
and then you can just slide.
In Barlow, you got a pretty good coverage there, especially with Tyrese playing his best defense.
Oh my gosh, he's playing like. Can we talk like not just like all NBA? Does Maxey deserve all defensive talk?
Maybe it's definitely impressive, extra impressive, like in the context of how hard he's working offensively and playing the most minutes in the league. Like the fact that he still has the energy to give the amount of effort that he's giving on defense is pretty remarkable.
I'm gonna do some research real quick.
averaging 1.7 steals and 0.9 blocks in 39.9 minutes.
At a 6'3" guard?
Yeah.
That says all defensive team for me.
I doubt he will be on the all defense teams in the end. There are a lot of good defensive guards in the NBA who are probably better known for their defense, but I definitely think he has earned at least a shout out for just how
he's not a liability. He's not just average anymore. He is above average defender for his position.
He's putting in the work.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. So I think knowing that, you can pretty comfortably bring Kelly off the bench. I don't think that is. I think that might honestly be good for Kelly in terms of his offensive role. There's still going to be games where he plays more minutes than Barlow, even if he's not starting. Like he's going to get plenty of run, But I do think Barlow's rebounding in particular is really important to this team, and I do think when Joel misses time, we could see a lot of smaller lineups with Barlow at the 5 and Kelly at the 4. That kind of thing is definitely in the cards.
Yeah.
But I think when Joel is healthy, with the way he is still moving, he's been moving a little bit better these past few games. But as things stand, I still think you benefit a lot from Barlow doing a lot of the dirty work in the front court. So I would say Barlow would be my pick.
And I mean, that's fine. And I don't hate that. I think it just depends on your matchup. Like, if you're having more versatile wings that you have to guard, like, I know Jason Tatum's not healthy this season, but let's say it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, then yeah, you would probably want to start Kelly and Paul George. But if you're playing against, like, say, the Rockets, then yeah, you want Barlow in there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, are you ready to talk about the postseason here?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
All right, Lucas. I'll read out the NBA standings. We'll get into it. Pistons are at 1. This was the East, obviously. Knicks are at 2. Raptors at 3. Magic half a game behind at 4, tied with the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. And then you have the Sixers at 7 right now. Winners of 3 straight. 13-9 on the year. We are a half game ahead. Or a full game ahead, pardon me. Or, no, we're tied, really, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 14-10. Hawks at 9, Bucks at 10, Bulls at 11, Hornets at 12, Nets at 13, Pacers and Wizards we don't really need to talk about. So we're kind of in a jumbled mess here between 4 and really 9. I would say the Bucks are kind of falling off there in the 10 spot, but Orlando and you can really say Toronto through Atlanta is all pretty fluid right now.
Yeah.
Toronto is one of the hotter teams. Orlando has been extremely good of late.
Toronto's lost their last 2.
Yeah, but overall, you could argue that maybe this is going to separate a little bit. I think Orlando's
been
clearly on
streaking. Orlando's going to get into the top 3.
Orlando's going to be a top 3 seed, I imagine. But, Lucas, as things stand, do you think Philly has a realistic chance of not being a play-in team?
Yeah, I do. And the reason why is Boston. We don't believe in Boston. They've won 4 straight. That's good for them. Good for you guys. We don't believe. What? Do you believe in Boston? Please don't tell me.
I don't know, man. It's like it just feels like right for them to be annoyingly good. That's just how it normally is. I don't know.
That's okay. Well,
Jaylen Brown is playing to his credit really well. I hate to admit that, but it's been a good Jaylen Brown year.
Too bad his hairline's not playing as well as his game is.
Their offense is one of the best in the NBA right now. Their defense is less so, but they're scoring the ball. They've adjusted to life without Jason Tatum. I would really hate if Jason Tatum. I wouldn't. If Jason Tatum can get healthy and come back this year, good for him. But that would really scare me as a Sixers fan.
They're still not the I think even if Jason Tatum comes back in like March or April, they're still not the favorite. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah.
They don't have the ancillary pieces. Like, you can take advantage of some of their guys in the playoffs. You're telling me you can't take advantage of Peyton Pritchard defense, on the offensive side of the ball? or Nemiskata. Come on now, like they need to make a trade.
That's fair. Whether or not they finish below the Sixers in the standings, though, is a different conversation. I'm not convinced that the Celtics are just going to fall off at some point. I think they might just be in the middle of the pack.
I mean, look, even if you believe in the Celtics, do you really believe in this iteration of the Heat to be able to stay out of the play-in? This is the Miami Heat we're talking about here.
I don't know. If they trade for Giannis.
If they trade for, well, yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Heat are doing the no pick and roll thing, and it's super fun and odd and abnormal, but
by the way, you could tell me that Cleveland could go on a streak if Garland can get healthy, or Atlanta can go on a streak too, even though they've lost every game since they played us. Granted that they're not healthy either. So like,
I would say that Cleveland is like not going to be the 8th seed. Cleveland is very clearly going to move back up at some point, even though it's been a little bit of a wonky start for them.
Yeah.
Like, we have to believe that Cleveland is going to move back up. So it is like, who moves down below Philly? Can they leapfrog 2 of those teams ahead of them and stave off?
I mean, look, I think Boston and Miami are susceptible. And
absolutely.
If Toronto has one more injury besides RJ Barrett, they're going to start plummeting too.
Sure. Absolutely. I wonder, like, are the Sixers more reliable than either of those teams, though? We still don't really know what we can expect from Joel and Paul George day to day, week to week.
That's fair.
Still a little beat up around the edges.
But I think we kind of saw that before the Kelly injury. Kelly injury.
No, for sure.
So like if Kelly's healthy, and even if we get inconsistent Paul George and Joel, which I have a feeling that Paul George is going to start being a little bit more consistent, maybe not back-to-backs, but more consistently available. Fingers crossed, right? I think that if you get a consistent Paul George, and look, Drummond's still playing well, spot starter minutes. Bono's starting to finally get his groove, right? So I think you can survive. And here's the crazy part. When we're talking about the defensive liabilities on the starting 5, I think the center position, regardless if it's Drummond or Joel, is probably the weak spot for the Sixers this year, which is crazy, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Sixers do have, probably more depth than they get credit for when they're healthy, just because they haven't been healthy ever. But
yeah,
this roster is pretty well-rounded and fleshed out. Obviously, the backcourt is ridiculously deep to the point where Jerry McCain is just not playing enough for how good he is. But, I mean, Jabari Walker can give you spot minutes at the 4. You're going to have Kelly, Barlow, Paul George, all those guys mixing in on the wing. Justin Edwards has had some good games here. You have 3 playable centers at least. It's a good spot 4 if you count Barlow. It's a good spot to be in. So,
yeah. And the other teams here, Celtics have no depth.
Yeah.
Cleveland does not have depth.
Yeah.
So those are 2 teams. Miami has depth. I'll give Miami and Atlanta that they have some depth, but Atlanta maybe not as much as Miami. But
Jalen Johnson, good basketball player.
Yes, absolutely. They are missing him for sure. And look, by the way, I wouldn't count Chicago out of this play-in race either.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Them and Milwaukee can duke it out for the 10th
right?
spot. And maybe Charlotte too.
Maybe
we believe in you, Con.
If they trade LaMelo, I think LaMelo needs to go. I think he needs to go. Anyway, but no, look, I think they're in the range that we said they would be, 6 to 8, right? They're at 7 right now. So
okay, yes.
What?
I'm just laughing at that stupid meme that's going around. You almost
what I do?
Could have said it.
What the?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well,
sorry.
I have to deal with that. I have to deal with that at work and all the time. But I am actually getting those people out of it because I'm making the dad version of that, and they are hating it. So
good job.
Yeah. So
you're doing the Lord's work, Lucas.
Yes,
okay.
It's the up high, down low, in heaven.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the one podcast that I hadn't made that joke yet, so thank you.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So no, the Sixers are in the range. Look, I don't think we're gonna be mad if they played the play-in right now. We would be playing what against the 10th seed, the Bucks. We're gonna win that game.
Like if we're in the, think so.
Yeah, you know, whether it's the Bucks or the Bulls or the Hornets, I don't think we lose that playing game with everybody healthy.
It is also worth noting it is not like guaranteed that Giannis gets traded.
Yeah, there's that too.
If
it's going to be hard to trade him,
and he gets healthy, he is going to miss some time now with a calf strain, which is never a fun injury. But you know, Milwaukee could also be a riser later on. But
maybe.
Yeah, so
he's going to miss for a month, so like they could drop to the point where it's not feasible for him to bring them back into the play-in.
Also true. I do think it's like the general takeaway is that this is a very fluid. These standings are very fluid right now.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to pinpoint which team is going to go where.
Yeah,
they're all kind of equally mediocre.
Yeah,
so that's the state of the East right now.
And look, if we got the 7th seed, let's just play that out. We play the Knicks right now. If we're healthy and they're healthy, and we get playoff like an actual Joel where he's actually like dialed, like I think we beat the Knicks in the playoffs in the first round. I think we could do that upset. The Knicks are not the Knicks are not unbeatable. Okay,
they're definitely not. I think. Counting on a healthy Joel in the playoffs at this point.
Okay, even if you don't have a healthy Joel, you have the centers to throw at Towns. And, like, Mike Brown is a good head coach. However, I don't think he's gotten the best out of this team either.
That's fair. It's still early, though.
Yeah.
You know,
the only team that I would be like, oh, we're not going to win that playoff series right now in the East is probably the Pistons.
That's fair. I look, the Knicks are definitely beatable. Whether I would like favor the Sixers in that series right now with their current defense.
Yeah, no, currently
debatable.
Debatable. But like, I can see us beating Toronto in a playoff series.
For sure.
I could see us beating Orlando in a playoff series. I can see us beating Boston in a playoff series.
I don't even want to test fate there, though.
I can see us beating Miami in a playoff series.
Yeah. Yes.
I can see us beating Cleveland in a playoff. Last year's Cleveland, no. This year's Cleveland, yes. By the way, I think they're missing Ty Jerome a lot more than they want to admit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Ty Jerome
anyway. But yeah, no. Outside of Detroit, I feel like we have a real shot about beating anybody else in the East.
I think that is very fair.
Yeah. Detroit's just too much, though.
You could say all those teams also have a shot at beating us. So again, it's very fluid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I think Orlando is pretty scary.
Orlando is scary.
But yeah, I agree with all points made. Okay,
that's fair.
Are you ready to talk about Giannis for a little bit?
I suppose we must, right?
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to come to Philly at the end of the day.
Oh, that's a shame.
Has made it clear that it's going to be well beyond New York in the bidding process. I think our instincts on San Antonio and Toronto were probably correct.
Yeah.
But Bill Simmons has been peddling some Miami Heat propaganda of late, pushing the idea of a Hero, Wiggins, Khalil Ware, whatever 2 picks they can trade or whatever. Do you think the Heat have enough? And what would you think of Miami acquiring Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Well, let me just say, first off, I don't think that's the package. I don't. I think if I'm Miami, and I hate to say this because he's such like a Heat culture guy, I think Bam's gone. Can Bam and Giannis work? Sure. But I much rather prefer the combination of Khalil Ware and Giannis. Claire's bigger, and when he's played more minutes this season, he's looked like a boss, okay? He's looked like an absolute monster, okay? He's just not getting enough minutes because of Bam, right?
Yeah, but it is Bam. You know what I mean?
I get that it's Bam.
He's shooting 5 threes a game this year. Like, the 3-point shooting is real.
Okay.
So they have, like, the stretch element that they need. That is one of the sickest defensive combos in the NBA if you put Bam and Giannis together.
So here's my counterpoint to that. So Bam and Giannis both benefit the most when they have a guy that's a as like the big body that like battles underneath against the bigger guys, and then they're the off-ball guy that can come in and rim protect. Am I wrong?
I mean, Giannis or Bam has spent plenty of time being.
I'm not saying that he hasn't. I'm just saying they're both best doing that role. Khalil Ware is a big body that you can throw at. Like I get it. Fine. Let's just say it is that Tyler Hero, Bam. Who was the other? Not Bam. Sorry, Tyler
Wiggins.
Hero, Wiggins, Khalil Ware.
Maybe you throw in. I think he mentioned. I think Bill Simmons was saying Yakuchonis.
Yakuchonis, yeah.
Jovic, sure. Hawkes, all those guys could be in the mix. Yeah.
I think it's hard to. I think Jovic can't be traded because he has a poison pill because of the extension.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, look, Miami doesn't have that much, so if they're asking for Jaime Hawkes,
and they got 3 picks. They got 3 picks that they can trade.
Yeah. So you can't keep Jaime out of the conversation if you're
the
Heat.
Like you also don't want to give up too much to the point where you can't, compete anymore. That's the other thing.
Notably, I think Milwaukee might prefer Khalil Ware to Bam Adebayo because of the age situation. They might. So that might be a part of it too.
That might be a part of it, and that's fair. I think the other thing we have to consider is that we're not going to see the super trades. This is not Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks. This is not Paul George for 7 first-round picks. Giannis is 31. He has an injury history. Granted, they're not long-term injuries, but they are consistent injuries. Has 1 year left on his contract, or a year
Giannis
plus
has played at least 60 games in every year of his career.
Okay, but there is still that. He's 31. And, does Giannis coming to the... Okay, let's just map out the starting 5. So you got Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, whoever you want to throw in at small forward. I don't know who that is if Wiggins isn't there. Is it Jovic? Is it Jaime? Let's just say it's Jaime, right? Because Jaime wasn't a part of that Bill Simmons deal, right? You have Jaime, you have Giannis, you have Bam. Jaime's not a 3-point shooter. So maybe it is Jovic. I don't know. But you need 3-point shooting around it. Davion Mitchell's not a great 3-point shooter. He's gotten better since he got to Miami. But is that going to be enough for you to vault yourself to the top of the East? Is that starting?
I mean, we're talking about, the East is pretty mediocre right now. If you have Giannis and Spo, I think you could win the East.
I mean, you have a real shot at it, but does it make you the undeniable favorites? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they have some depth. They have Pelle Larsson. They have guys like, Jokic, like you mentioned, or Jovic, probably. They have Fontecchio, who could start in a pinch, maybe.
Yeah, okay, Fontecchio, fair.
I think Larsson might be the guy there, but Norm Powell is a pretty good Tyler Hero replacement if you're just consolidating to one of them. Like, Norm Powell can do that job at a very high level. You have Bam and Giannis who are going to defend the heck out of the ball. I think this no pick and roll offense is probably pretty advantageous for Giannis. They're going to move the ball around, find him in good spots, get him moving downhill. I think this would be a very good team, unfortunately, if they were able to pull this off. I think it would be a little bit remarkable to pull this off after not having enough for Damian Lillard, but
no, the Portland was salty about that. They didn't want to trade him to there.
They didn't have enough for Damian Lillard. It was not the best package. They got a better package from Milwaukee. It is what it is. That's my take. Okay. I do think Miami becomes pretty serious team if they get Giannis. Not if they aren't already pretty serious right now. So I would like to see him go to the West.
So possible. That would be cool. And I think
not the Spurs the West is lacking for talent, but
yeah, but I would like to see. Look, the Spurs are dropping in the standings quick.
Spurs would be so sick.
Yeah,
if we're being honest, Wemby and Giannis is a fun concept.
And you still got De'Aaron Fox, or you trade De'Aaron Fox. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, they could put any package. I would not trade Dylan Harper or Steph. Oh, Dusty Garza.
You're gonna have to trade at least.
Hang on. I got an insider. Well, Dusty Garza, who is a beat reporter for the Spurs, friend of mine, has said that he does not. He is reporting that, and it's on his Twitter, that both Stephen Castle and Dylan Harper are off the table for Giannis.
Well,
so does that? Stupid, then it's Fox. That is Fox.
Well, they're just not getting him. But
are you saying that Milwaukee, who does not have control of their draft picks right now, wouldn't take a win-now player in De'Aaron Fox plus some role players?
I'd much rather have Harper and Steph. And frankly, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for those guys when you're trading the second best player in the world. Like,
well, then you're not getting a lot of draft picks from San Antonio. That's the thing. Like, maybe, you're not gonna get a big draft haul for Giannis. He's 31. All those reasons I said before. You're not gonna get a big draft haul like you used to.
Here's my take: is that Stefan Castle, I maintain, is very clearly the worst of those three. It would be the one
he's balling this year, dude.
I understand that. I still have some concerns about just how he's scoring, but like,
he's a better 3-point shooter this year.
He's 24% from three right now. Like, I get it. Harper is very clearly better than him. Like, is going to be at least. But frankly, if the minutes were flipped, I think you could argue that Harper he's definitely the better asset. So I think you could make this very strong case that Castle would be the easiest of those three to include in a trade. I think you might want to sell high on him personally. We'll see if I'm right or wrong on that front. But I would try to keep Dylan Harper. I think he's the best asset of those three guards. He's the one I would want to keep the most. If you have to give up Harper and Castle, though, and other stuff for Giannis, to put him with Wemby and to give Wemby a shot to contend while he's on his rookie contract and you can build out around them, I'd be pretty inclined to do that, personally. I think it's a kind of risk worth taking. I know Giannis is older. The injuries might start stacking up more, but it's Giannis.
Okay, I got an idea. Tell me if I'm crazy. Minnesota trades for Giannis, Julius Randle, Rob Dillingham, and whatever contract you need to get done. Maybe it's Rudy Gobert, maybe it's not. I don't know. But if you're Milwaukee, do you pick up that call? They don't have any picks, to be clear. They have no picks.
No. Tyrese has been awesome this year. Like, to his credit, he's playing very good basketball. I don't think him alone.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you view Dillingham too.
Dillingham
has
struggled to stay on the floor.
Yeah,
as much as I love him and want to see him get like a shot somewhere else, I don't know if he's like that valuable right now. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. I think the only way you get that done is if you include Jaden McDaniels, and you don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking Giannis next to Anthony Edwards would be.
It would be sick. I just don't know if Minnesota has enough.
If you had Julius Randle and draft picks, then you could do it.
I'm not convinced that Miami even has enough, to be frank. Yeah, if they had all their picks.
Well, the only team that has the quote-unquote draft picks to do it is OKC. Let's be clear. They're not doing it, though.
That's not true. Toronto has all their picks. San Antonio has a lot of picks left over. I think Dallas can scrounge together 4 picks now and put next to Anthony Davis.
Nah, I'm not doing that if I'm Milwaukee. I'm not doing. Why would I want AD? Why would I want no? I'm not doing that.
Hawks have some picks to trade. Obviously,
the Hawks have arguably the most interesting package.
So other teams have picks. Maybe not on OKC's level. OKC isn't going to do it because it compresses their timeline too much. But
I don't think they need to do it. I mean, they're 22-1.
No, they don't. They're like maybe the best team ever. So
we'll see. We'll see.
As fun as that is conceptually, they are 22-1 right now. I don't think we're talking enough about how good OKC is. Like,
well, let's go to around the NBA and we can talk about it.
I'm gonna press the button.
Okay, talk about your Thunder.
I don't know, man. They're 22-1. They're maybe the best defense of all time. You said a lot of these same things last year. Oh, this might be the best defense ever. Somehow it's better now, and they're not losing. J-Dub is back. They don't really have a weak point in the lineup. It's kind of ridiculous. Do you think, Lucas, that they are going to win 74 games?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a strong. It is a. I'm not gonna say strong because I don't want to jinx anything, but like, it is a more than average possibility.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it's too early. Someone could get hurt. Who knows? But even if someone gets hurt and it's not Shea, I'm not sure that really derails them that much. I think Chet would be kind of tough to replace, but
yeah,
if they're relatively healthy, they're going to roll all season. They're probably going to hit some bumps in the road eventually, but 74 is in play for sure, which is not something we hardly ever get to say.
And the thing is, like, obviously you don't try to chase 74 if that means you're not, like, rested for the playoffs.
Absolutely. Also worth noting, I don't think OKC would blow it in the finals if they do win 74. That's all I'll say. I think this is.
We
pretty
said that
clearly
about the Warriors too, so let's hold our horses.
I don't know. This might be a better team than the Warriors if we want to be so bold.
I don't think the might is.
I think this OKC.
I think
team
okay. So
versus
let's
that
just
Golden
compare this
State
to the
team
Thunder.
would be very fun.
So like okay, I think the Golden State team at that time had the better player. I think Steph was a better player than SGA is right now.
Yeah.
Back then, I think that's fair.
Sure.
But in terms of depth, the Thunder have them beat by a mile.
It's like really kind of like the best offense ever versus the best defense ever is
pretty
what
much,
that matchup would come down to. It would be sick. I would pay to watch that. If we could.
Are we even going to talk about the 96
machine.
Bulls in this conversation? Because I mean, I don't.
Golden State was. I don't know. I'm not the basketball historian qualified to talk about this. I feel like Golden State was a better team, and they just blew it at the end because LeBron's awesome.
Yeah. Well, no. Blame Draymond
I think there's
on
nuance
that one.
to the.
Yeah.
Those conversations. They were
that's
effectively
fair.
A better regular season team than the 96 Bulls. But
yeah, that's fine. So anyway, yeah, the other thing that I wanted to talk about here though is Kevin Durant. Let's talk about the guy. Look, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Arguably a top arguably, I'm not going to say he is a top 10, but arguably a top 10 guy. He is top 10 in scoring all time, and he just passed 31,000 points. He has 31,024 points for his career, which is 8th all time. All right, which is crazy. And I think honestly, because we missed if Durant didn't miss all that time with injury, he'd be chasing LeBron. He can't because he missed all that time with injury. Because he's missed a season, almost 2 seasons worth of games of injuries, or something like that. So look, he had the Achilles year, plus he missed at least half, if not most, of a season in OKC. So look, he could have done. I think he would be much higher on this list. That being said, he has a chance to pass some historically great players this season. Okay, check this out. Wilt is 7th on the list with 31,419. Definitely seems possible. Dirk is 6th on this list with 31,560. And he might, if he stays healthy, he might even be able to pass Michael Jordan, the GOAT, with 32,292. So if Durant does all that, what does that mean for his legacy, Chris?
I mean, look, I think his legacy is pretty well established at this point. He's a 15-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 11-time All-NBA, 2-time champ, 2-time Finals MVP. He's one of the 10 or 15 best players ever, no matter how you slice it. I don't think he's going to really rise too much further up the list. I think.
What if he wins the championship with the Rockets this year, being their second best player?
Sure, that would help, but barring something like that, I think his legacy is pretty well established. And I think wherever anyone has him ranked right now is probably around where he's going to be ranked when he retires. He's not in the prime of his career anymore, obviously, but still very good. He's going to help his standing in the record books at least. Super.
Like I said, I think honestly, and this, I know we're a Sixers podcast, but like whoever wins the Rockets Thunder series is going to win the NBA title.
Yeah, I have a
and you can throw the Nuggets into that conversation too. That's fine. But the championship game is going to happen in the West playoffs.
Do any of those teams even get more than 2 games off of OKC? Does anyone have the capacity to take them to 7?
I think. Look, the Thunder have the size to bother OKC.
The Thunder
they have the size. Not the Thunder. Sorry, the Rockets. The Rockets have the size to bother OKC, and they have the scoring. Now, would I feel better about it if Fred VanVleet didn't get injured? Sure. But, look, I mean, I don't know. Who's the better player, KD or Sabonis? I mean, not Sabonis. Sengun? I think it's Sengun. But, like, look, Kevin Durant, year 18, Year 18, something like that. He's averaging 25 points per game on 50, 38, and 88. He could very easily get to the 50, 40, 90 club again this year. So, like, look, it's possible. I think it's very possible for KD, the Rockets. Like, if there's going to somebody to beat the Nuggets, it's either going to be the Rockets, and I'll give the Nuggets an outside chance too. But like, I think the Rockets are the main problem that the Thunder are going to have to go through.
I agree. No Lakers love for you, Lucas?
No, they don't have enough defense.
They do have a really sick offense, though.
They do.
And they have LeBron. And though maybe what
is LeBron even averaging this year? What is he averaging? Hang on, I need to find that out.
I can tell you right now. 14 points, 4.3 rebounds, 7.8 assists, 41% from the field, 26% from 3, 55%.
So this is LeBron's last year.
Look, he's out with arthritis right now.
It just
probably.
Look,
probably will get better if he can get on the floor consistently and build up a little bit. Still good.
I mean, he's good. He's their third best player now. LeBron went from being the number 1 guy at the beginning of last year to being the third best player on that team. And you can argue he's not. He might be the third most skilled player, but like, is he the third most important player on that team? You can make the argument he's not.
I think let's not get crazy now. I don't want to write the obituary just yet. He's only played 6 games after a nagging injury. He could
an old man injury. I don't even have sciatica yet.
Sure, but it's LeBron. You can't count out LeBron. He's normally pretty superhuman. I do think sciatica and arthritis is maybe not the best sign for where he's at.
It's not. It's not. The fact that he played 6 games and his arthritis is acting up. Now, granted, I have arthritis too, but I had an ACL tear, and I had to get surgery on that. He's never had to get ACL reconstruction surgery.
Wow, yeah, that's true. He's also playing a lot more basketball, though.
That's true, because I'm not that good at playing basketball. Like, I'm okay. Let's be clear. I'm not terrible. But I'm not LeBron James. And I have to tell my students that sometimes, because we play like a hacky sack game and they overthrow me sometimes. And I'm like, do I look like I have LeBron James's wingspan or his ups? Like, come on now. So like, no, look, it's LeBron James looks like his age for the first time in his career. And is that going to be enough for the Lakers? I don't know. Look, they look pretty. LeBron's not going to help their defense. They need to get more defensive help.
Yeah.
Now,
sure.
How do they get that? Are there any defensive players out on the trade market? Well, there is one.
Giannis.
And if they trade him back, no, not Giannis.
They're not going to trade for Anthony Davis.
Trade LeBron James for Anthony Davis. I said it.
No.
Do it.
No.
You know that would make them so much better.
It's not going to happen.
but am I wrong?
Doesn't LeBron have a no-trade clause? You think he's going to be like, I want to go spend my final year in Dallas with Cooper Flag?
That's fair. Is there anybody else defensively that we could trade? Maybe trade. No, I don't know. Actually, no, there isn't another good defensive player out on the market right now, is there? The rest of them are point guards. No, that's not going to help. They need. Look, I like DeAndre Ayton. He's having a good season, but he's not the defensive anchor that they need to mitigate the problems that Austin Reeves and Luka have on defense. Yet again, I'm not saying that he's bad. He has been good for them this season.
He's been good this year.
But he's not the defensive anchor that they need.
Yes, I think that is a fair way to put it.
I know you hate him, but let's not hate.
I don't hate him, Lucas. I just have an opinion.
What about Jaren Jackson Jr.? Do you think they could pry him away?
I doubt it. I don't know.
By the way, Zach Edey. Can we talk about Zach Edey?
He's so good.
Let's go, so Zach Edey. Yeah, that's what we need. A low post guy just stop me. Stop me.
I put him.
They can't stop him.
I think he was 5th or 6th on my board, and it was too low. I should have been bolder.
I had him in the teens, and I feel bad about that now.
That was your kind of player, Lucas.
Look, I didn't think the Memphis Grizzlies were going to lean into him. Did I think that he had the skill? Sure. But did they lean into him? Absolutely not. So let's look at Zach Edey's averages for the season. I'm just curious. 13, 11, shooting 65% from the field. Look, feed that man the ball. Feed him like he's at a Golden Corral buffet. Come on, guys. He should be averaging 20 and 12, okay? Let's be clear. 20 and 12 for Zach Edey this year. That's what the doctor ordered, okay?
Yeah.
That is what Dr. Johnson, no relation, has ordered, okay?
Here we go. I've pulled up. I can't find my draft guide for some reason. I found my draft grades from that day. Oh, this was from this year. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking at the wrong year.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got drafted last year, my dude.
Jesus Christ. Good Lord.
He got drafted, what, 8th or 9th?
I still can't find mine.
He got drafted 9th.
He was 9th, yeah, to the Grizzlies. 2024 NBA draft grades, fansided.com. Why won't you just take me there? I know these exist. Okay, Google's not going to help me here, but I was very high on Zach Edey at the time, and I should have been higher. That's my take.
Yeah.
He's really good. Yeah.
He might single-handedly make them a play-in team.
He might. It's been pretty darn awesome. I've seen a lot of reverse Steph Curry talk, where he's just so dominant inside and so efficient and just changes the floor, the shape of the floor so much because no one can stop him.
He had a quote-unquote bad game last night against the Clippers. He still had 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks.
Yeah.
That's a bad game for Zach Edey right now.
Yeah.
In 29 minutes. So, look, the guy's going to be a problem. Gosh, I love it. I need more Zach Edey.
Yeah.
So, anyway, any other trade mumblings that you've heard about that you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Not really. It's pretty quiet aside from the handful of stars that we've talked about, I feel like. But
it's a point guard. Here's the thing. I don't think there's going to be that many trades for point guards anyway.
Probably not. It's a lot harder to make trades nowadays, too, especially with the big names. So I think we're kind of holding out hope that Giannis actually gets moved.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be a boring trade deadline. But we still have a couple months for that. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap things up, man.
All right. As always, thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of the Sixer Sense podcast. We are on Spotify, Google Play, Audible, Apple Podcast, all that fun stuff. You can find us on Twitter at SixerSense. I'm at Kline NBA. Lucas is at CoachJ_20. And we will be back soon to talk more Sixers basketball. Follow us on YouTube if I didn't say that as well. And until next time, peace.
Deuces.